WBNY Studios here in Buffalo, New York. We bring you a YouTuber, photographer, and videographer based here in Buffalo. It's Jay Situated. Thank you for coming out to the show.
No problem. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. So tell me about yourself. Where are you from, and what got you into doing what you do?
So as you just said, I'm from Buffalo. I've been doing YouTube for about a year and a half now, and what got me into it, I don't know, just something I just gradually started on. Originally, I wanted to be a music producer, but from that, I became a YouTuber and just like seeing my progress of how I transition. Everything happens for a reason, because as I said, I started as a music producer, and by me being a music producer, that allowed me to get the equipment that I needed to be a YouTuber. And by me being a YouTuber, that allowed me to know the skills that I had to be a music videographer and all them things.
So when it comes to doing, I guess, what was that transition like from saying, I want to do music to I want to do YouTube? Run me through what made you decide to switch.
So if I'm being perfectly honest, it's because I had to come to a realization with myself that maybe the music producing thing wasn't necessarily for me. I just happen to be better at video creating, come like different creative ideas to implement in my YouTube videos, and yeah.
What kind of content do you create, and how did you decide on that niche?
I don't have really a set type of niche. The type of content that I currently have on my page would be more like, pranks, public interviews, things of that nature, or, in some cases, motivational speeches. I did a video where I was talking about, like, manifestation, things of that nature, because that's something I believe heavily in. And, my grandma, growing up, she was someone who taught me a lot about God and things of that nature. She raised up in church. So, yeah, it just ranges from different sorts of things, per se.
When it comes to, I guess, the motivation side of things, would you ever consider doing stuff like where you're helping or focusing on issues in the community?
Absolutely, yes. That's one of my long-term goals, especially like if I expand, like if I have like more of a core fan base, you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to do things in the community, because as we had a conversation before, it was a situation that happened 2 years ago where my mom at the Tops on Jefferson, she was there, and luckily she got out in time. But that's a day that made me realize that racism is still a thing that goes on today. You know what I'm saying? And it really sucks that it does. But yeah, and sadly at that same time that was happening, my grandma was being taken to the hospital. So like just the time of how things happen, leads my family to believe that my grandma, her spiritual side was intact, and she protected my mom from knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah, I mean, when you've seen racism play out in front of you, the perpetrator who's now going to trial this year for the death penalty this year said in his manifesto that he got his inspiration from the internet. How much power do you think influencers have over spreading stuff online?
A lot of power. You just got be careful what you put onto the internet, because with the internet, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you could use the internet as good to gain good information, but you could also use it as bad to feed your head with all this like nasty negativity, and as you've seen with the top shooter.
Walk us through the process of maybe creating a video. How do you plan and shoot them?
Well, first gotta come with the idea. Now me, the way my brain works, I'm always like actively thinking of things. It's kind of hard for me to go to sleep at night because I'm always thinking. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So first is the idea, then finding someone to shoot the video. Usually that's not hard for me, but it depends on the situation. And just implement the video, make sure I have all the equipment for it, getting people to participate. And as of right now, I try to do as much video as I can by myself, because I don't like to depend on too many people, because people back out last minute. Someone got hurt at the last minute, and that's just something I don't have time for. So, when I want to do something, I want to do something like right now. In a way, I'm kind of impatient, but, yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. As a fellow creative person, I could kind of understand how that would be. So, what was the most difficult video that you've ever done? Because, I mean, like you mentioned, people backing out last minute.
The most difficult? The first thing that comes to mind is a video where I was, It was supposed to be a funny video. I was going around asking, people in the dorms, can I spend the night? It was supposed to be a joke and things of that nature, but it was a certain female that had took that the wrong way, and I had gotten in trouble for it because she tried to make it seem like I was harassing her. And let me just put out there that harassment, things of that nature, that's something I definitely don't play about, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't like the fact that I was accused of doing, things of that nature. And, just so happened that I happened to be a mutual friend of two of her friends, you know what I'm saying? Because we all went to school together. Mm-hmm. And mind you, these both her girls, her females, you know what I'm saying? And they both said she's someone who like a lot of drama. So that's how I know in that particular situation, I wasn't a problem and she was a problem.
When it comes to, I guess, living in the dorm compared to, I guess, living in the house, would you say there was like a culture shock between like what you're allowed to do at home compared to here?
Not necessarily. I would say 2 years prior to me, coming to college, I pretty much had freedoms to do pretty much whatever I want. Nothing crazy though, you know what I'm saying? But I pretty much already had freedom, so it wasn't really much of a shift, I would say.
Does living in a dorm affect your recording stuff? Because I know when I'm recording these voiceovers for this program, there's people banging down the doors and running down the hallways and blasting drill at like 3 a.m.
In some cases, yeah, but also I feel like being in the dorms and just being on college campus in general, it's like a networking hub for you to make content, you know what I'm saying? You got different creative people. I'm not the only YouTuber, you got people like K3 off the radar, he made content. It's his girl Jaden, she don't post videos no more, you know what I'm saying? But it's other creative people for you to collaborate with. So yeah, it just college in general is just like a networking hub for video creators and things of that nature.
When it comes to your work, I know that on the side you have a photography and videography business. Tell me about that.
So that's something I just recently started up with within the last month. Cause like I said, I was a music producer and music just something like I love, you know what I'm saying? Like my playlist, it could range from the 80s to now. Like that's how much I love music. I grew up listening to people like Michael Jackson, Tupac, but as of right now I listen to people like Future, Drake, Kodak. My music playlist, it just ranges. So yeah, this is something that I felt like since I already had the skills of video create, I might as well metamorphosize into making music videos. And I feel like for my first one I did a pretty good job, but of course, I just want to expand on my knowledge and just get better over time.
What inspires your creativity or your content? Are there like certain things that you think, bang, that's it? Or is it just like it just comes to you?
I would just say a lot of these ideas that I have, it comes to me. My motivation, I would say, for it would be my mom, you know what I'm saying? As I said, she worked at the tops, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to overall make it to a point where, she don't have to work these long hours for, me, my siblings to get everything that we want and need. So, I feel like that's the case with everybody, especially, not to be biased or anything, but, people in the black community, they want to, do good for their mom and move their mom out the hood and things of that nature. So, yeah, I would say that's my motivation.
You've mentioned wanting to do more for your community and kind of give back, sort of. What did that look like for you?
I would say, nowadays, I would say, like, probably opening more, like, mental health facilities, you know what I'm saying? Putting things into the neighborhood that young kids could go to. One of the first things I could think of is the skate land on Fury. That's been shut down for like years. And when I was younger, that was like the go-to place when I was younger. And I have so many good memories. And when I say like, it was like a nightclub for kids, you know what I'm saying? And I just want, if I ever had the fortune to do so, I just want to reopen it up so, little kids can experience the things that I experienced as a child. So yeah, just putting things out for the kids in the community, things of that nature, and just make it so people have something to look forward to.
That makes sense. I mean, when it comes to, I guess, kids and giving them something to do, I know that a lot of people now, I think recently there was a study, a lot of kids now, they want to be an influencer. What kind of advice would you give to someone who would be in your position maybe 5-10 years ago that wants to start doing YouTube or wants to start doing music?
Well, I know I can't cuss, but I would just say, just don't give a care, you know what I'm saying? Don't care what other people gotta, think about your videos or what you might say, just be you. Because at the end of the day, like, this person might not like your video, but it might be like a million other people that does, you know what I'm saying? And Just in anything you do, rather it be, video creating, music videos, or, just artists in general. If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my advice to anybody that want to create content and things of that nature, or even music videos per se.
And finally, do you have any projects that you want to share, any ideas, and what's one message that you would like to leave with our audience?
So as far as projects goes, I would just say, I did drop a video today. You could follow me at jsituated, that is JAY._situated on Instagram. You can follow my YouTube channel at jsituated, JAYSITUACED, no underscores or anything like that. Like I said, just be you. And one of the main things I want you to take away from me and my story is that racism still exists. It's a thing that we have to work on as a community. And it don't take just one person. Like, and here's the thing about people in the like African American community that I don't like, but it's the truth. Like, we're so divided. It's always the thing about dark skin, light skin, brown skin. Short hair, long hair. But I just feel like if the black race was united, so much can be done in the world. But it's because we're always fighting with each other, and it's done by design. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look in a black neighborhood, you always see like a liquor store at every corner, or trap at every corner. And I feel like it's designed to keep black people oppressed, and that's just how it always been. You go way back then to slavery. After slavery, you were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule or something like that. Never happened. Slave codes were put in place, and then on 13th Amendment, I believe, it said slavery shouldn't exist unless it's for unless you're like prosecuted for something. And even back then, black people get falsely prosecuted for things like that. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
I don't think I have.
It's a good movie, but yeah, that's basically what happened. There were two people who got falsely accused of a murder they not commit, and they had to do life. That's basically what the whole movie is about. So yeah, I just feel like the black community need to come together, unite, and things of that nature, and that's just the message I want to put out into the world.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show, and we'll have an extended version of our interview together on the next episode of The Core Idea with me, streaming on Kier Channel 24. Jay, situated in the studio, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
World Telegram News time is 5:02.